Okay, so what we have today going on will be some beef riblets. We got a grass-fed ribeye steak, chicken wings. Those will either be grilled or smoked, or grilled and smoked. Baby back ribs. Gonna do some mac and cheese. I got some leftover cheese from the last macaroni I did. We got a Gouda, Monterey and Kobe, sharp cheddar, Monterey and Kobe. And this is New York sharp cheddar. Don't know what the difference is, but it's going in there. And then the main ingredient, the star of the show, is going to be this. This is a crap. What do you call this thing? Man, it's on the tip of my tongue. Good grief. Pork belly. Okay, that's what it is. Pork belly. So I've never done pork belly before. Heard about it. Just never did it. So I went out and bought this some months ago. So it's been sitting in my freezer. And then I did try it eventually at the Cheesecake Factory. It was their pork belly sliders. And it was so delicious. So I said, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and take this out the freezer and I'm going to go ahead and make it. So we're going to do some pork belly today. I've never done it before. Don't know how I'm going to do it. Hopefully it'll come out decent, edible at least. And I'll let you guys come along on this journey and see how it turns out. It's pretty early in the morning and it's still kind of cold outside. It's about 29, 30 degrees outside. So I'm going to wait for things to warm up a little bit before I go outside and get the smoker set up. But when it warms up, I'll be back and we'll get started. All right. So all the other stuff you've seen me cook before. So I'm just going to focus on the pork belly and what I'm going to do with it for my very first time, experimental. So I'm not going to cut it into cubes like some people do for their pork belly when they're doing barbecue with it. I'm going to leave it whole, but I am going to trim off a lot of this fat on top because I'm not going to eat the skin. Not this time around, so I'm going to take that top layer off and then I'm going to season it with my dry rub and smoke it and see how it comes out. Okay, so first let me say that my carving, trimming, fat technique is horrible. But I was able to get the skin off without, taking off too much of excess stuff that I didn't want to take off, but I did get the skin off. I still have a, decent layer of fat on it. So hopefully that'll render out while it's on the smoker. All right, so I got my dry rub over here. Go ahead and get this on, seasoned, and then we'll head on out to the smoker and get the smoker started. Okay, here are the beef ribs, the baby back ribs, and the star of the show, the pork belly. So the pork belly and the baby backs have the same seasoning. Outside, I'm building a fire here in the firebox. I already got the water in the water pan. Everything is getting warm. I'll close this door in a little bit and then put the meat on. Be right back. Yeah, one thing I forgot to show you guys is the meatloaf. So this meatloaf is going on. So right here on the top rack, we have the beef ribs. Middle rack we have the baby back ribs and the pork belly. And I put 2 kebab skewers through the pork belly so it doesn't shrink and curl up. I mean, it'll shrink, but it won't curl up. I saw somebody do that on YouTube also, so I'm doing that right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the meatloaf on. Let's see if I can do that with one hand. Again, this is your basic meatloaf recipe. Nothing fancy about it. Onions, green peppers, salt, pepper, Parmesan cheese, eggs, breadcrumbs, Italian breadcrumbs, a little Worcestershire sauce, and that's it. All the flavor is going to come from the smoke. And on the bottom rack, I don't think I have anything for the bottom rack because the chicken and the steak are going on the grill. So I'm gonna get this closed up and let it do its thing. Okay, everything's on. The temperatures have settled in. We got about 225, 226, 27, whatever. Same thing on the bottom. You have one closed, one open. And the bottom vents are all the way closed. So we're gonna roll with it until things change, and we'll check back in about an hour. Here's the steak that I'm going to be doing. That's going on the grill. So are the chicken wings. Trying out this Cuisinart sweet chili seasoning. Experimental. You know, I didn't add anything else to it. No salt, no pepper. Just a plain sweet chili seasoning. This is just going to get salt and pepper. That's it. Maybe some garlic, onion powder, but nothing fancy. And that also is going on the grill, which is getting started right now. I have some lump hardwood in the charcoal chimney getting fired up. So once that gets ready, I'll go ahead and throw these on the grill and take you guys about 40 minutes. Everything's still going good. I put the steak and the chicken wings on the grill. I really like this grill. It's got cast iron grates. It's a char griller. You either got it from Home Depot or Lowe's. This is a grass-fed market side steak from Walmart. It's about a pound, a little bit less than a pound. And so we got all that going. So I'm gonna close back up before it starts to flame. Oh, that fire you see below, that's 2 hickory chunks I put on there, 2 small pieces. So we'll close that up before it burns. All right, so I took the steak off. I want to put some butter on it, cover it up and let it rest for a little bit before I cut into it. And hopefully I did not overcook it. It's kind of hard to see with this lighting, but I did about 5 to 7 minutes per side. So I moved the wings up to the top rack so they don't get burned by these hot lump coals here. And that way they'll finish cooking. The outside is always crispy as I want it. I'll leave them on there for another 15 minutes or so and then I'll take them off. And this thermometer is not working at all. In a dead of cold, it'll be sitting at 200 degrees. So I don't even know if that's accurate. I haven't measured it at all. And as you can see, it is working, because it is moving right there in front of your eyes. But it's not accurate. Who needs it on the grill anyway? And here it is. I'd say that's a really nice looking steak there. Butter nicely melted on top. I'm gonna go ahead and eat this for my lunch while everything else cooks. And yes, I'll have some greens. I'm gonna put some of those on in a little bit to go with the rest of the meat. Chicken is done. The steak, by the way, is delicious. Get a good look at that. It's really good. Alright, so I'm going to wait for everything else to be done, the ribs and the pork belly. And then I'll see you guys back. I'll check in every now and then, let you know how the smoker is working. Of course, you know, it's working good. It's holding temperature. And there's no leaks out of the sides or anything. Alright, I'll see you guys. So I think it's been 3 hours since I started everything. And I added 2 pieces of wood, refilled the water pan, temps up to 250. Bottom vent slightly closed. Both vents open on the top. I did spritz the meat. You might not be able to see that. So far everything's looking good. Ribs, I'll probably let go probably another hour before I wrap it, or I might just not wrap it at all. We'll see. The meatloaf, that was reading at about 1:30, so that's got another 45 minutes or so to go before I take that off. All right, the meatloaf is done. It's got an internal temperature of 160.2. So I'm going to take it out of this juice and get some ketchup on it, and then put it back in the smoker for a little bit, and then that'll be it for the meatloaf. So it's close to 4 hours. I'm gonna go ahead and take everything off and wrap it up in some foil. The ribs are bending very well, so they're ready to be wrapped. And this pork belly looks pretty good. I'm gonna wrap that up too. I'll take the skewers out and everything so I don't poke holes in the foil. And oh, I gotta go slice the meatloaf. So let me go slice that, and then I'll show you what that looks like. And there we have the meatloaf, sliced, ready to eat. And I've already had a few pieces, and it's very delicious. Again, regular old meatloaf seasoning, and with the smoke flavor, it's good. So the only thing left to do is finish up the ribs and the pork belly. And I do have my veggies going. Italian green beans. Okay, everything's back on, wrapped up. You got the beef ribs, pork belly, baby back ribs. I'm gonna leave everything on for about an hour. 45 minutes on the ribs because I did those 15 minutes ago. Everything else I'll take off in an hour. Probably add one more piece. I'll do that right now. Bring the temperature back up, and we'll finish these off. There it is. The pork belly. I'm gonna let it rest for a while before I cut into it and see what it's all about. And of course you got the beef ribs and the pork ribs, yada yada. We all know about that. And mac and cheese going on. Alright, I'll give it about 30 minutes and I'll cut into it and show you the end result. So, I tried the pork belly, and it does not taste like what I had at the Cheesecake Factory. It said pork belly sliders on the menu, and it tasted like I was eating a really tender piece of bacon with barbecue sauce on it. I mean, it was exactly the taste of bacon. This does not taste like bacon. It just tastes like pork with fat on it. Not saying that it's bad, but you know, I was expecting to taste like bacon. So if anybody that sees this video and has tried pork belly, let me know if yours tasted like bacon or if it tasted like something else. I don't see myself rushing out to buy this again to make more pork belly. So anyway, right here we have the beef short ribs or beef ribs. Those are the baby back ribs. You saw the meatloaf and what's left of the chicken wings already. That's the mac and cheese. And excuse the stove because I had a little accident. And my vegetables to round everything off. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I enjoyed making all of this. And I'll see you guys next time.